Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? As you can see, this is just part one of my testimony. I feel like God has placed it on my heart to go ahead and stop being intimidated or feeling like I'm going to be judged by my testimony or whatever it may be. This is my truth. And I feel like it's time to just start at part one. I'm just praying that God just leads me, let the Holy Spirit work through me, let me decrease, He increase, give me what to say, what not to say, and just give him all glory and praise through this video. As you can see by the title, I named this one The Calling because just going to talk about when God actually called me and I heard his voice at the age of 18, which was many, many years ago. Lord's will, I will be 41 in June in 2 months. So I've been through a lot. It's been a couple of years and I'm still going through things, and I just feel like this would be just a great outlet right now, my little personal journal, just to free myself of anything. Again, I'm still nervous because I've been through a lot and this is going to be really hard for me. I've never told my story in this type of platform before. I haven't even told my story at all in any type of platform, honestly, not even in person with anybody, my full story. So this is huge, but we're going to start with the calling. Again, I was 18 years old when God called me. I actually heard his voice. I wouldn't say I came from a huge religious family at all. I do know my grandmother went to church a lot, and I was young when my grandmother passed. I think I was 15, so I didn't really have too much time with her to really know her church life. I just hear the stories of it all. I come from a huge family. My mom is number 12 of 13 kids. So, and I'm number 5 of 6 kids. So, again, my mom, I come from a family of, sorry, family, I'm about to tell all y'all business, but I come from a family of fighters. That's what they were known for. I'm going to be honest. Like, my family was known to be fighters. And so I would say my family got into going to church, trying to find God maybe in the late 90s, early 2000s is when I started noticing all my aunts and stuff like that were getting really heavy into the church. My mom was probably the last sister to get saved. My mom, sorry, mommy, I'm telling all your business, but she was a drinker and a huge fighter. So, and I'm a mama's boy. So, I just want to do everything my mother do. And so my mom had got saved one day. And I want to say it was probably a couple of months to, she was maybe saved a year and maybe a year. And I was like, you know what? I didn't know nothing about God, y'all. I didn't read the Bible at all. So I don't know what's going on. I just know my mother talking about she's saved and I'm following her and now I'm about to get saved. So I was telling my friends, like, you know what? I'm about to smoke my last blunt. Look at me, trying to make my own plans. I'm about to smoke my last blunt and then I'm going to get saved Sunday. This is what I'm telling everybody. I think it was probably on a Thursday or Friday. I don't remember. But so I'm up in my room. We had 2 floors. I'm up in my room smoking down, y'all. 18 years old. And first of all, I had no business smoking in my mother's saved home at that time. But I was smoking down and I was on the phone with my girlfriend at the time. And I'm smoking and I just feel my hand getting really, really heavy. My hand just started going down. I couldn't even hold it up anymore. And I just found myself putting my blunt out. And I'm telling her, like, I don't know what's going on, but I can't even, my blunt is just, I can't even hold my hand up. Like, I'm just putting my blunt out. And then immediately I heard a voice that said, do not be afraid. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. So I ignored that. And then I looked up at my entertainment center in front of me, and I'm old, y'all. And it had my stereo sitting inside of it. And it just literally transformed into a face that scared me so bad that I ran downstairs into the living room. And I'm sitting in the living room and I'm like, oh my God, I am tripping. And I heard the voice again. It said, do not be afraid. So I'm like, what is going on here? And and my grandfather had just passed away, my step grandfather actually, and we had got this plant from his home and it was sitting up by the window and it just started glowing. The plant just started glowing, y'all. And I heard the voice the third time and say, do not be afraid. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm listening. And I heard God say to me, I called you to be a minister for me. I called you to be a preacher for me, and you will never be the same. And now I'm bawling, y'all. And now I'm really tripping. At that point, I'm not high anymore. I don't think I even smell like smoke anymore. And my mom, I guess she was coming out to use the bathroom, and she seen me sitting in the living room just crying. She was like, "What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Ma, like God just spoke to me." And she looked at me, and she was thinking the same thing y'all are probably thinking right now. What have you been smoking? And so I'm like, "No, Ma, seriously, like God just spoke to me." And one thing about it, when God calls you, is no denying that He called you. You cannot deny His voice. So she ended up calling all my aunts and everything. Everybody was in church at this time and saved. So she calling them and they're just encouraging me while I'm just crying down. It's just so crazy now when I think about it. When I think about it now, I know why God had me leave that room. He had to scare me out of my room, first of all, because He was holy. I was surrounded by smoke. My room was so smoky, y'all. And He had to get me out of that place into a holy place. And wow, that's just now really hitting me. And so then I just ended up going to church, I believe that Sunday, and I got under the leadership of my pastor, which is my aunt. And I was just learning all types of things from her. And I was under her wing and I became her young minister and, you know, learning about God. And even till this day, I just still hear that voice, y'all, and I just get goosebumps. A lot of people thought I was crazy because I know if I would have heard this story, I'd be like, okay, yeah, something wrong with you. But it's the truth, y'all. I heard God's voice. God is real. He will call you out of your mess, and there would be no denying that it was God that called you. So I don't know who is this for, part one. Maybe God's been tugging at your heart. Maybe He's been calling you. Obey that voice. Listen to Him. Just yield to that voice because He definitely has something for you. I'm going to end it right there. We're going to do part two because it's going to get a little deep and a little personal. But I just want to give y'all a little backstory of my testimony. And again, I've been through a lot, so I may have to make this into 4 or 5 parts because I have to tell my full story and just to give God glory out of my life and where He's brought me from and where He's taken me and where He's still bringing me out of. You know what I'm saying? Still a lot of things that I struggle with, and I just want to be real with Him. And hopefully, this first part will bless somebody. I didn't really tell too much of my story yet, but stay tuned.